Have you ever felt an unsettling chill in the very place you seek solace, a subtle disharmony in a spot meant for peace? We're talking about more than just old buildings with creaky floors. Imagine, if you dare, the venerable moss-draped steeples of the American South, structures that have stood for centuries, witnessing generations of faith, hope, and community. But what if, hidden beneath layers of history and hallowed ground, lies a dark secret, a pact whispered into existence long ago? This isn't a ghost story designed to merely send shivers down your spine. It's a deep dive into something far more profound and potentially far more dangerous. We're going to explore the unsettling possibility that your quaint hometown parish, the very church you might attend, could be harboring a Satan's contract. Yes, you heard that right. A deal sealed in shadows that has subtly, insidiously tainted a place meant for God. The idea itself is provocative, I know. It challenges our beliefs and pushes us to question what we thought was unassailable. But sometimes, the most important truths are found in the most uncomfortable questions. This isn't about fear, it's about awakening, about understanding the unseen forces that can influence even the most sacred spaces. It's about arming you with knowledge, because what you don't know can hurt you, especially when it comes to the spiritual realm. This isn't just theory. It's a journey into the hidden history of these beautiful, yet potentially compromised sanctuaries. We'll uncover clues, hear chilling testimonies, and provide you with actionable steps to discern if your church is truly a haven for the Holy Spirit, or if something else has laid claim. You won't want to miss a single moment of this revealing exploration. So, buckle up, my friends, and prepare to see your local church through a whole new lens. We're about to unveil secrets that most parishioners never even dream of. Tell me, from what city are you watching this right now? Have you ever driven past an old, stately church in the south, its steeple reaching for the heavens, draped in Spanish moss, and felt a shiver down your spine? It's easy to get lost in the quaint charm of these historic places, their stained glass windows shimmering with stories of generations of Christian faith and devotion. But what if those ancient stones hold more than just hymns and prayers? What if, tucked away in the shadows of a seemingly innocent parish, lies a truth far more sinister than any ghost story? The very thought can be unsettling, can't it? Imagine twilight settling over a small, sleepy southern town, the air thick with the scent of magnolias and secrets. The old First Presbyterian, with its grand oak doors and towering bell tower, looks like a bastion of peace. Yet for some, the silence after dark isn't peaceful at all. It's heavy, pregnant with unspoken history. Rumors, whispered from porch to porch, speak of pacts sealed not with ink, but with something far more permanent, a covenant made in the dark, perhaps with forces unimaginable to the average congregant. It's a chilling thought indeed to consider that the very ground where generations have sought solace and guidance from God might also conceal a dark bargain. These aren't just idle tales. They are echoes of a past that refuses to be buried, tales of prosperity that came with a price, a spiritual IOU that could still be collecting interest. The beauty of these old sanctuaries often masks a profound mystery, a historical thread that, if pulled, could unravel everything we thought we knew about them. The mystery deepens when you start looking beyond the surface, questioning the seemingly innocuous details. Could those ancient frescoes depict something more than biblical scenes? What about the hidden crypts, the dusty old archives, or the strange feeling of unease that some visitors report when the sun dips below the horizon? It's easy to dismiss these feelings as mere imagination, but sometimes our instincts are trying to tell us something vital, something that the rational mind struggles to accept. So let me ask you this: what if your quaint hometown parish, that very church where you found comfort and community, is harboring a devil's deal? What if the whispers you've heard aren't just old wives' tales, but warnings from a past that desperately wants to be unmasked? It's a question that compels us to look closer, to truly understand the nature of such a chilling possibility, and to ponder what exactly constitutes a Satan's contract in the first place. All right, let's peel back another layer of this perplexing mystery. When we talk about a Satan's contract, we're not just conjuring images from Hollywood horror flicks. We're diving deep into the grim reality of occult covenants. Think of it as a twisted spiritual agreement, a pact where something incredibly valuable, often blessings or prosperity, is exchanged for something far more sinister: spiritual bondage. It's a deal with the devil, literally. And it's a concept as old as time itself, predating even the most ancient church structures. Now, you might wonder, why would old churches be prime targets for these kinds of spiritual loopholes? Well, consider their very essence. They are by their nature places of immense spiritual power, built on faith, prayer, and the devotion of generations. This spiritual energy, when corrupted, can be an incredibly potent force. It's like a spiritual power grid, and if a dark entity can tap into it, the consequences can be catastrophic, affecting not just the building, but the very souls of those who gather there, unknowingly participating in this unholy arrangement. It's crucial to understand that these aren't always overt, dramatic rituals. Sometimes these agreements are subtle, woven into the very fabric of a place over time, perhaps through the desperate intentions of someone seeking worldly gain over spiritual truth. The Holy Spirit is meant to dwell in a church, bringing light and truth, but when such a contract is in place, it acts as a spiritual barrier, twisting divine energy for malevolent purposes. It's a spiritual sickness, infecting the very heart of what should be a sanctuary for God. Have you ever walked into an old, beautiful church and felt an inexplicable sense of unease, a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature? That feeling, my friend, could be more than just your imagination. It might be your spirit discerning a deeper truth, an ancient sorrow, or even the lingering residue of a dark pact. It's a subtle warning sign, one that many dismiss, but a truly wise individual pays attention to these inner nudges. You see, the unseen often speaks to us in ways we least expect. These occult covenants are designed to trade blessing for bondage, to turn a place meant for divine connection into a spiritual prison. The beauty of the architecture, the richness of the history, all serve as a veneer masking a deeper, more troubling reality. Understanding this concept is the first step in recognizing the signs. So let's turn our attention now to the very origins of such a pact, and how a parish's founding legend might hold the first chilling clues to its hidden history. Now that we grasp the chilling nature of a Satan's contract, let's rewind the clock and delve into the parish's very beginnings, for often the seeds of such darkness are sown in the early days. Imagine the 19th century, a time of grand ambitions and burgeoning wealth in the South. This particular church, as legend has it, rose from the aspirations of powerful, wealthy benefactors. They yearned for prestige, influence, and a legacy that would echo through generations, perhaps even more than a genuine connection with God. Whispers from that era speak of secret midnight rites, hushed gatherings not within the sacred walls, but in clandestine locations. These weren't prayer meetings, mind you, but something far more arcane, hinting at a desperate desire for prosperity at any cost. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the pursuit of earthly riches can lead individuals down incredibly treacherous paths, opening doors to forces that even the most devout Christian would shrink from. The allure of quick success can be a powerful, corrupting force, and in those days, as now, desperate measures were sometimes taken. The prevailing narrative tells of astounding growth and seemingly miraculous fortune for the parish and its patrons. Businesses boomed, land holdings expanded, and the church itself became a beacon of influence in the community. But beneath this glittering facade, the rumors persisted, murmurs of a supernatural price being paid, of an unholy agreement that fueled this rapid ascent. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, if such blessings were truly from the Holy Spirit or from a much darker source, with strings attached that only became apparent over time. This isn't just ancient gossip, it's a crucial piece of the puzzle. Understanding the parish's foundational narrative, looking beyond the official histories, is paramount. Were the initial intentions pure, or was there an underlying motive that twisted the very purpose of the sanctuary? History, particularly the hidden kind, often reveals the truth if you're willing to look past the comfortable fables and acknowledge the uncomfortable realities. So, as we consider these founding legends and the whispers of secret midnight rites, we begin to see how prosperity, especially sudden and immense prosperity, sometimes came at an unspeakable, supernatural price. This historical backdrop sets the stage for our next step, uncovering the hidden clues that might be lurking right within the sanctuary itself, right before your very eyes, just waiting to be noticed. All right, with the historical context firmly in mind, it's time to become spiritual detectives and uncover the hidden clues right within the sanctuary itself. You see, places that harbor such dark pacts often leave subtle, yet telling, imprints. We're talking about more than just old bricks and mortar. We're looking for the whispers of a different kind of architecture, a spiritual dissonance reflected in the physical space. The true nature of a place of worship, where the Holy Spirit should freely move, can sometimes be subtly distorted by hidden influences. Have you ever noticed something off in a supposedly holy place? Perhaps an eerie gargoyle tucked away in a corner that seems to mock rather than protect, or a stained glass window where upon closer inspection a cross appears subtly upside down. These aren't just artistic quirks. They can be deliberate, coded messages, spiritual signatures left by those who made an unholy bargain. A Christian church is meant to uplift and inspire, but these anomalies can create a lingering sense of unease, even if most parishioners never consciously notice them. Beyond the obvious, look for cryptic carvings on pews or altar rails. Are there symbols that don't quite fit traditional Christian iconography? Perhaps ancient, almost forgotten glyphs that hint at pre-Christian practices or occult leanings? These are the cool details, the little Easter eggs that most congregants walk past every Sunday without a second glance. But for someone seeking the truth, they can be incredibly significant, like breadcrumbs leading to a deeper, more unsettling revelation about the true spiritual foundation of the place. Sometimes, the clues are even more subtle, almost energetic, unexplained cold spots in warm areas, or sudden feelings of oppression or dread in certain parts of the sanctuary. These could be residual energies, echoes of past rituals, or the lingering presence of something tied to that original Satan's contract. It's like a spiritual fingerprint, a testament to what transpired there even centuries ago. These architectural oddities and cryptic carvings aren't just random decorations. They can be silent witnesses to a hidden history, powerful signs that a church might be burdened by something far heavier than just its age. What peculiar details have you noticed in older churches that just didn't sit right with you? Comment down below and share your observations. Because understanding these subtle hints is paramount to truly grasping the spiritual weight of a place, and it leads us directly to the powerful impact of first-hand accounts from those who've spent their lives within these walls. Having examined the physical clues, it's time to turn to the most compelling evidence of all, the living testimonies. Because sometimes the stones don't just whisper, the people who've spent their lives within these walls speak volumes. Imagine the lifelong congregants, their faces etched with the history of the church, who've witnessed things that defy rational explanation. Their stories, often dismissed as folklore, can be the most potent indicators of a deeper, unsettling truth, a spiritual burden carried by the very fabric of the parish. These are the folks who've attended countless services, baptisms, and funerals within the old chapel. They speak of strange lights flickering in the empty sanctuary after hours, a luminescence that isn't from any earthly source. Others recount unexplained cold spots, sudden drops in temperature that send shivers down their spines, even on the warmest southern afternoons. It's a chill that penetrates deeper than the skin, a feeling that something unseen is present, observing, perhaps even influencing. Then there are the recurring nightmares, vivid and disturbing, tied directly to the old chapel. Congregants describe dreams of shadowy figures, of oppressive presences, or even of being trapped within the church walls, unable to escape. These aren't just bad dreams. They are often the subconscious mind grappling with a spiritual reality that the waking mind struggles to process. It's a profound connection, a spiritual echo of the Satan's contract that binds the place, affecting even the sleep of the faithful. The tension builds as these testimonies accumulate. Each story, each personal account adds another brushstroke to a chilling portrait of a church that might be more than it seems. It's a powerful reminder that while we seek God in these sacred spaces, sometimes other forces have also laid claim. The faith of the Christian community is strong, but even the strongest faith can be tested when confronted with such undeniable personal experiences. These eyewitness accounts are not to be taken lightly. They are the human echoes of a spiritual battle, the raw, unfiltered experiences that point to something profoundly amiss. They compel us to look beyond the physical, to recognize that the spiritual realm is very real and can leave tangible marks on our lives and our sacred spaces. And it's these very testimonies that pave the way for the next crucial step, bringing in expert analysis to truly break down the physical and spiritual evidence and understand what it all means. Now, we move beyond the personal accounts and into the realm of expert analysis, because understanding these anomalies requires a discerning eye and specialized knowledge. This is where a historian or a seasoned paranormal investigator steps in, someone who can bridge the gap between anecdotal evidence and tangible proof. They're not just looking for spooks and specters, they're meticulously breaking down the physical and spiritual evidence, much like a forensic scientist examines a crime scene, seeking the truth about this alleged Satan's contract. An expert can pinpoint architectural discrepancies that go beyond mere design flaws, connecting those eerie gargoyles or subtly inverted symbols to known occult practices. They can analyze historical documents, church records, and even local legends to unearth patterns that suggest a deliberate, malevolent intention at the church's inception. It's about piecing together seemingly unrelated fragments of information, seeing the larger, darker tapestry that most people would never even consider. They'll also contrast these findings with what we know about healthy Christian markers. A church infused with the Holy Spirit exudes peace, warmth, and a palpable sense of God's presence. Conversely, a place bound by a curse or an unholy pact often feels oppressive, cold, and drains spiritual energy rather than replenishing it. The expert can identify these energetic signatures, helping to differentiate between a simple old building and one that carries a genuine spiritual burden. Think of it like a spiritual diagnostician. They can explain how a binding curse manifests not just in eerie occurrences, but in the very spiritual health of a congregation. Perhaps persistent conflicts, financial struggles despite clear blessings, or a general lack of spiritual growth. It's about recognizing that these aren't isolated incidents, but symptoms of a deeper systemic issue rooted in that initial unholy agreement. This expert perspective is crucial for understanding the true gravity of the situation, showing us that these aren't just fascinating stories, but potential dangers. It's their insights that empower us to move from mere observation to actionable steps, equipping us with the knowledge to confront such darkness. And that brings us to our final, empowering challenge, equipping you with a practical parish purge checklist to detect and dismantle a hidden demonic contract in any church. Okay, my friends, we've journeyed through whispers, hidden clues, and expert insights. Now it's time for action. If the unsettling truth of a potential Satan's contract in a historic church has stirred your spirit, you're probably wondering, what can I do? Well, I'm here to tell you that knowledge is power, and with that power comes the ability to reclaim sacred ground. So here's a practical parish purge checklist. 3 actionable steps you can take to detect and, God willing, dismantle a hidden demonic contract in any church. First up, archival research. This might sound tedious, but trust me, the devil's in the details, literally. Dive into the oldest church records, land deeds, and local historical society archives. Look for unusual financial transactions in the early days, inexplicable windfalls, or even bizarre clauses in foundational documents. Sometimes these old papers hold the smoking gun, revealing the true nature of original endowments or forgotten agreements. The Holy Spirit often reveals truth through diligent searching. Next, and crucially, engage in spiritual discernment prayers. This isn't just a casual prayer, it's a focused, intentional petition to God for revelation. Gather a small, trusted group of devout Christian believers, perhaps even your closest spiritual allies. Pray specifically for the truth about the church's spiritual history to be revealed. Ask the Holy Spirit to expose any hidden covenants, to bring light into the darkest corners, and to show you where the spiritual hooks are. Listen carefully for impressions, for peace or disturbance, and for any specific words or images that come to mind. Finally, and this requires courage, facilitate community testimony sessions. Create a safe, private space for long-time congregants to share their experiences without fear of judgment. Encourage them to speak about strange occurrences, recurring feelings of unease, or any unexplained phenomena they've witnessed over the years within the church walls. You might be surprised by how many shared experiences emerge, forming a collective witness to a deeper issue. The power of shared truth, spoken aloud, is immense and can break spiritual strongholds. Remember, reclaiming a sanctuary is a spiritual battle, and it requires both wisdom and fervent prayer. These steps are designed to empower you, to equip you with the tools to confront and dismantle what might be lurking in the shadows of a beloved church. And speaking of reclamation, in my next video, we'll delve into specific rituals to break curses and reclaim your sanctuary. Don't miss it, because understanding how to purge these contracts is just the beginning. Learning how to truly consecrate your space back to God is the ultimate victory. As we draw this journey to a close, remember that the true strength of a Christian lies not in ignorance, but in informed faith and courageous action. We've peeled back layers of mystery, from architectural oddities to chilling eyewitness accounts, all pointing to the unsettling possibility of hidden spiritual contracts. The question now isn't just about what could be lurking in the shadows of an old church, but what you, as a vigilant follower of God and the Holy Spirit, will choose to do about it. How will you look at your own parish now? Will you see merely a building, or will you recognize it as a sacred space, potentially in need of spiritual cleansing and reclamation? What truths might be waiting to be uncovered in your own community? Truths that could liberate a place and its people from unseen bonds. The call to vigilance is clear, for the enemy seeks to sow discord even where God is meant to be honored. Don't let this knowledge merely be a passing curiosity. Let it ignite a desire within you to seek deeper discernment, to pray with renewed purpose, and to be a guardian of the sacred. The fight against spiritual darkness is real, but so is the power of our faith. If this exploration has resonated with you, if it has sparked a desire to protect and purify the places where we gather to worship God, then I urge you to take the next step. Subscribe to this channel, join our community of truth seekers, and let's continue to shine a light into the shadows together. For it is through collective wisdom and shared purpose that we truly reclaim our sanctuaries, ensuring they remain pure vessels for the Holy Spirit, places where God's light shines unimpeded now and forevermore.